After using the travel buddy for a while, we decided to have a look around for some accessories for it, and there's a few good things available. What we ended up getting was a deep dish and a trivet, or trivet, I don't know how you pronounce that, and a door latch for it. Now the door latch on the travel buddy hasn't failed us yet, but it is a push open thing, and we can see the day when we're going over a bit of rough ground with the roast inside and the door's going to come open and the whole lot's going to come out. So there's another catch that's suitable for the oven. It's also on a competitor. It's something I think Travel Buddy should start installing on their ovens. The catch itself only costs $8 when you buy it from, I think it's Somerville Metals. I'll put the link to them down below. They're a different company to Travel Buddy, but they're making accessories for the oven, and they also make the drawer and the trivet. So we're just going to do a little video on installing the catch and just put the drawer in, see how that looks. I don't think the shelves are going to fit with the drawer inside, so I'm assuming when you're using the drawer you're going to have to take the shelves out and store them somewhere else. Well, I was actually wrong about the shelves not fitting. So for storage it's very useful. They do actually fit on top of the drawer, so it does all fit into one package. That's very handy. It's good not having to try and find somewhere else to store the shelves while the drawer's actually in the unit. Obviously when you're cooking you're not going to have them in there, but useful for storage. So for the catch, you get all the pieces you need for it. It's just a latching mechanism, a hook and 4 rivets. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can work out. Now, no instructions with it, so I'm going to have a little fiddle with it first and see how to install it. The door handle on the Travel Buddy is probably going to be in the way, so we're probably going to have to move that up to the top and then install the catch where the door handle is. So I'll have a quick look at that and we'll see how everything goes together. So as far as I can see, this little latch needs to go on the front here. There's not a great deal of room for adjustment. Now I'm going to use an automatic punch to just mark the hole where I want to start drilling. Now, without any instructions at all I can do is just guesstimate how this is going to go. As far as I can see, it's going to sit around about there with the latch closed. Unfortunately, I think what they should have done is do something to make use of the existing hole for the handle. They don't seem to have done that. The only way I can see of getting this to work is having it further along, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nicer if this thing had been set up to use the existing hole. Okay, that's a 3.2. I think the instructions on the website say 3, but looks like it's supposed to be a 3.2. The rivets that come with this are apparently stainless steel, so they should be perfectly suited to the Travel Buddy. The existing catch will still stay on. That's just the little clip here, but this is going to make it far more secure, I think. Okay, and that is a 4mm drill. I'll try with the 4mm first. You can always go up, but you can never go back down. Okay, 4mm drill for the bigger rivets, 3.2 for the smaller ones. Okay, probably need to dial that up to the next size, yeah. Okay, I think that's going to do the job. Okay, that seems to have done the job pretty well. And that's the finished job. I did muck it up a little bit, but that could have been more centered than it is. It's still going to do the job, it's not going to come off. So now when we're on the road, we're not really going to be worried about the travel buddy opening up. Definitely could have got the latch a little bit more centered. I needed to move this up a little bit more than I did, but never mind. So now what we've got to do to finish the job off is put the handle back on. Now I think I'll just put it in the top corner up here. Let's go to the 5.0. That definitely should be big enough. Only need to do that finger tight. There is a screw on the back of it, but not really necessary. So that's the job done. Things you'll need to do the job are center punch. This is quite a handy little one. You push down and it's an automatic punch. There's no banging with a hammer, so you don't need a hammer. You need a rivet gun of some sort. This is an El Cheapo Tool Pro one. I don't really like it. I've got a better one in the shed, but this is one I carry around for emergencies. You're going to need a drill of some sort, and the size drills I've used for this are a 5mm for the handle, a 4mm for the bigger rivets, and a 3.2mm for the two small rivets. And basically that's the job done. Fairly easy. If I wasn't so lazy, I probably would have marked it all out nicely first, but as long as the job gets done, it works the way you want it to in the end. That's really all I'm bothered about. So the travel buddy has now been upgraded. The next job will be to do a bit of a test cook in it and see what the temperature reaches with the new tray in there. I don't know what effect the tray is going to have on cooking. Very handy that it fits in with the shelves. So you put the little support bar on top, and what that will do is if this moves out, it'll stop it catching, because if you've got that bar on the bottom, what'll happen, the back of the drawer will catch on the back one and you won't be able to shut it properly. So when you're putting them into storage, shelves upside down, the drawer in the bottom, and of course the trivet in the bottom of that. We'll take the thermometer inside, we'll get the gear we need to run this up in the house, and I'll do a temperature test in there, and we'll just see how this comes up to temperature with the new drawer in it. The drawer sits flush on the bottom. Now I suppose what you could do is put a shelf in there. I don't know what effect that would have on cooking. Looking at this, you may be able to put a shelf in the bottom and then a drawer on top. And again, you may not. Maybe that'll just make it a bit too high. Right, we'll put in with a shelf on the bottom. So that's something to test out. I don't know whether having this shelf at the bottom will make any difference when you're cooking. It does raise the tray up off the bottom, so it's not going to have a direct contact with the bottom element, and I guess the heat will then be able to get around faster. But whether that will make any difference, we'll have to do a bit of testing with that first, just to see how it all goes. And that will be the next part in this video. Now the first test that you just saw was with a gap between the heating element on the bottom of the oven and the tray. What I'm going to do now is test again for another 60 minutes, and we're going to see if there's any real difference between having that air gap around the tray, or whether setting the tray on the bottom of the oven and having it in direct contact with the heating element will make a difference to the temperature and to how quickly it heats up. So the probe is going to be in more or less the same position as it was in the first test. So we'll pop that in there, turn the oven on, and see if there's any difference at all between having this on the bottom of the oven or having an air gap between them. So the temperature is starting off a little bit lower than it was yesterday, so we'll make an allowance for that at the end of the test. Well, at the end of an hour, the test results are just showing that it's effectively the same. So whether you have an air gap under the tray or whether it's flat against the bottom of the oven, it makes no difference at all. Now the only real work in upgrading this was putting the latch on, pretty simple, and the accessories inside. I haven't quite worked out yet what's the best way to store this. I'm starting to think that putting the shelves together on the bottom will be better. Did notice that when we had it in the back of the 4x4, there was a bit of noise coming from it. I don't like rattles, and I suppose many people like rattles when they're driving. The fewer noises around in the car, the better. So this is the first time I've tried putting this in this way. I'm hoping that the drawer will fit on top of those, and with the weight of that holding the drawer down, yeah, that's probably the best way you're going to have us storing it. Now if you're wondering what all the gear was that's stored in the drawer there, I'll just run through that. If you want to run the Travel Buddy off mains power, and we've been doing that for our testing purposes, what you can do is get yourself a little transformer that takes 240 volt power, or 220 volt, which it is these days, and turns that into 12 volt power to run the oven. And all we've got on there is a couple of little different connections. Now this one I've put a cigarette lighter adapter on there, that's for other appliances that we may want to run on 12 volt. In the case of the Travel Buddy, we're running that on a T-plug, and we've got a T-plug to an Anderson plug adapter, and with those things we can run it off mains power. And the other item in there, you would have seen in the video already, is the little temperature gauge, and once you're doing a roast you can pop the probe into the meat. This is a remote, and the sender, the temperature sender, will send the information to this, and this will tell you when the roast is done. Somerville Metal actually do a different style of drawer as well. There is an option for 2 shallow drawers which will sit on the shelves, so if you don't want the deep drawer, you can opt for getting a couple of shallow drawers, or maybe just one shallow drawer and then use a shelf. Just depends on what you're going to use the Travel Buddy for. We're going to probably use this most for cooking roasts, so that's where the deep tray is going to come in. This one fits beautifully in there, it's been purpose made for the Travel Buddy, and so that was really the best option for us. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you learnt something about the accessories that are available and how to install that little catch, even though I probably could have done a slightly better job on that. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you like what we do on the channel, perhaps you might like to subscribe. And as always, we have a new video out every Saturday. We've got a lot coming up this year. Most of the videos for the first part of the year have already been filmed because next month Dorothy gets her knee replacement operation, so we're going to be housebound for a little while, but never fear, we've filmed enough now to keep us going until July, so hopefully by that time Dorothy will be back on her feet and we'll be out and about doing some more filming again. Well, thanks for watching, and hope to see you back here again next Saturday. Cheers for now.